I had heard that they had this incredible coach. Their team passed the ball around us almost like we were standing still like cones. And so after the game, I thought to myself, okay, I might need to learn a little bit more about this Manfred Schellscheidt character.
Whether you're a player or a coach, his words just connect. It sounds a little bit like the game's talking to you.
Manny is to U.S. soccer what, maybe Johan Cruyff.
Pretty interesting piece about a legendary soccer coach who I'm pretty into soccer, and I didn't know anything about. U.S. coach named Manfred. His last name slipping me at the moment. I'm sorry, but it was actually a very good piece. What I enjoyed about it was that it very much humanized not just the sport, but sort of like the concept of creating community and bonding and like spiritual growth even through learning how to play soccer and how to not just work in a team concept, but to how to trust yourself and how to grow as an individual and understanding how to navigate time and space and movement in a way that is not that natural to people. And I thought he was really interesting in terms of how grounded he was in wanting to not just help high-level athletes, but the youth and the importance of sports and teamwork and sort of building character and building a sense of community and belonging. And I feel like Manfred was sort of a very unassuming but inspirational figure that didn't really want the spotlight, but definitely deserved this type of piece. And I felt like with all the personal testimonies and all the footage that showed him actually on the ground working, it really created a very strong sense of his personality and sort of his mindset and his end goal in terms of why he pursues coaching in this sport in this particular way. So I thought the piece was good not just for people that were familiar with the sport, but people that don't really think that the sport is accessible to them or don't really understand the concept of team sports and community building through that through team sports in general. And I felt like this piece was pretty good for the layman in particular to sort of give you a bridge and understanding how these people are teachers and educators as well as leaders. And Manfred was very much that.
One thing that really stood out to me was how many coaches were really impressed by the things that he had done in this sport and how they utilized this coaching style into their own coaching styles years later and for years to come, and probably will continue to. On the ball as your best friend, being the start of how to learn this sport and how he learned this sport. There are so many, they call them mannerisms that he would say throughout that I feel like I will even use myself, even though I'm not a soccer player. Things you love will love you back. So if you love the ball at some point, it will do what you want it to do. And to me, that resonates into so many different things, that if you have a passion for something and you love it and you continue to work at it, at some point it will work back for you because you put that much dedication into it. He always was described as painting a clear picture on how to execute cute technique, even though English is not his first language. He found these ways to eloquently describe things in a way that a player would understand, that other coaches were able to utilize through these different mannerisms, which were definitely inspirational. The soccer clinics is another way that they continued to spread this coaching style around. Another thing that he said that really stuck out to me was how the body and ball are the instrument. And so with music, you have your notes, you have your sheet music, and your instrument, which is what creates this melody. And in soccer, it's the ball and then the body, which is what creates the melody, and constitutes to the skill to be able to make these things happen within the sport. And I just thought that the way he puts it together in his words and his mannerisms, as you will, are a really great way of making it clear. And it just shows what kind of coach he was.
You really got an in-depth look at the life of German-born soccer player and coach Manfred Schellscheidt. I don't know too much about soccer, but this film really gave me a lot of insight about the game. I love the interviews with Manfred. He had so many comments and phrases about the psychology of playing and coaching soccer as the voice of the game. It It was fun to see all the photos and video footage of his soccer life over the years, both in Germany and coming to the US as an immigrant. I was really touched by his story about how his first soccer ball as a child kept coming undone and he had to keep sewing it up again and again. The mellow soundtrack was lovely. I liked how the different segments of the film started with clever black and white drawings and titles to give the film more of a structure. It's amazing how many people he and his former coaches from Germany must have influenced players over the years.
Hearing somebody that obviously has so much love for it, and the reach that he had and how many people he influenced, just the people that they interviewed in this movie itself goes to show just how much influence he had over the game, and especially in America, but not only in America. Some of those people have gone on to coach in other countries, or, to be a part of other, leagues and things like that. And it's honestly, it's incredible the amount of passion and love that he had and that he brought and that he gifted to all these different people. And I think that one of the most amazing things is that he coached so many different age ranges and that he never had a contract in his whole life. Like, that's insane to me, to be coaching at the level that he was coaching at and never had a contract. Like, that is incredible and really speaks to his reputation and his just who he is as a person. And I thought it was amazing. You got to really hear not just who he was as a coach, but how he went about things, how he approached things, and how he transcended from soccer and the pitch to real life and, beyond.
Very informative, that managed to take a pretty narrow focus and a very simple story and kind of turn that into an appeal and do something with it, which is something that I appreciated, something that I can admire on behalf of the filmmakers. I thought it did a good job of showing the level of impact that Manfred had on all of these different people and their approach to football or soccer as a game, as well as just an outlook on life in general. I thought that was pretty interesting stuff. The presentation here was very simple. It kind of doubles down on this more human focus, right? This is a story about how one person has affected the lives of other people through a shared interest. And I think it, like I said, doubles down on that by avoiding any real flashy or elaborate visuals in favor of more just stills, a couple clips from practices and games and things like that. And then it's mainly interview segments. And I think that does a good job of putting the focus squarely on Manfred and the people around him.
Voice of the Game was a really sweet documentary about soccer, and I think more importantly about the personal impact of people and coaches and team members and the whole community within the soccer teams. I thought it was a really well done documentary in terms of showing the coach's sort of life as a child. He discovered his passion for soccer, the rivalries with other coaches and teaching methods. And I think what I enjoyed the most was hearing the different players and his family members talk about their experiences with him as a coach, and then the impact that had on their lives, and then also getting to hear him speak as a coach. And overall, it was really great.
Manfred has incredible passion for the love of soccer, and the history behind him is amazing. How he started bringing it to this country, how he persevered and didn't even let a stroke get in the way where he had to relearn his body. Sounds like he's a very much admired man by not only his family but his players. He expects them to work hard, but they don't disrespect him for that. They admire it. They know he expects hard work, but he's kind of taken his skills to a new level and innovated soccer.